Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Happy 2024. It is I, Tawani Yvette. I am back, and this is going to be great. This is going to be a great year. Hi, how are you guys? You beautiful people. I know you haven't heard from me in a while, but I decided this year I'm getting back into my podcasting because, wow, how sick, sad, and disturbing is it for a host to leave their audience hanging, right? So. And y'all know how we do. We talk about some things over here that we can't talk about over there. But we've been doing a lot of social media over the years, and I'm still gonna, add that to the repertoire every now and then. It's just that social media is not new anymore. It's 2024. I feel like people know how to manage their social media, and I think that, if you want to do it, great. If you don't, great. There's so many changes and so many additions to social media, the platforms that we already have, that I feel like, either you want to get into it or you don't. It might be too difficult for, some people. And so, now people like me, social media managers, have gone to doing 101s, where we just talk to, one person, or we have a consultation with one person, because people are making personal decisions about social media and all that. So, but it's going to be fine. We're still going to talk about it a little bit. When YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and, these platforms, they, drop some new stuff, we're going to mention it. Maybe not a whole dedicated show all the time, because we have some other things to talk about. But definitely every week when we come here, we're going to have an exciting show. So listen, we've got to talk about this Katt Williams thing, because it's been almost a week now. I have been asked over and over and over my thoughts, my feelings. How do I feel about this? I watch a lot of comedy and, analyze and study these people for whatever reason. I'm like a laughter connoisseur, if you would. I am she, I am her, right? So, people are like, what do you think about this comedian? What do you think about that comedian? Somebody just asked me the other day, who do you think is not the funniest comedian? And, I gave my answer, and a lot of other people were, agreeing. It's your style, it's your preference. If you don't like a lot of, cursing and, adult wordplay, then you're probably not going to like Katt Williams. If that doesn't bother you, or that's something that you like, you're probably going to consider his style of comedy. Before I get started with the shenanigans, and how I feel about the shenanigans, let me just give a couple of disclaimers. Number one, this is not to bash anybody or discredit anybody. I would never do that. You guys should know me well enough now to know that that is not my style at all. To low grade somebody or downgrade somebody, or, especially for the, same, race, seemingly the same race. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put my own people down. So that's number one. So, I'm not asking you, to go find Katt Williams and, berate him and curse him out and do all this kind of stuff. We don't do that over here. So I don't have anything to worry about, you guys. My teacups are, thebomb.com. So I know, we're not into that. We're not going to do that. But, I do want to say as well, because we're podcasting, I don't have to worry about pictures and all that kind of stuff. I don't have to worry about using clips of the video and stuff like that, so I don't need those disclaimers. But the next disclaimer that I want to say is that you guys, well, I guess this isn't a disclaimer. It's not a disclaimer. I'm just going to go ahead and, be blunt and candid like I, normally am. You guys know me. You're used to me by now, right? It makes a person look, it makes you look a little suspect when you don't throw yourself in the fire as well, right? I did not hear on any of the clips that Katt Williams was throwing himself in the fire, in the ring, talking about his faults, why he didn't do something or why he did do something. But I heard a lot of blame being thrown around. I heard a lot of insults being thrown around in a very slick way. And if you know Katt Williams' comedy, you know, some of it, you know, kind of leaked out or whatever, but this was personal. This was not business. And I guess that's the part of, you know, the disclaimer that this is what we're talking about today is not the comedy of Katt Williams. This was personal, right? And so we're not talking about how talented Katt Williams is, you know, so much today. He is talented. He is a talented comedian. And I feel like there are a lot of comedians on the planet, while I'm on the subject, that are talented. I think they were put here for the sole purpose of making us laugh and, you know, making us think and, you know, making us happy and feel good. I've never listened to a comedian that made me sad or made me cry or made me, you know, weep with devastating emotion. Like, no, you know, if I hear the word comedy or comedian or comedian, I'm immediately looking for laughter. I'm looking for joy. I'm looking for happiness. I'm ready to hear, you know, some of the greatest jokes. I'm ready to see some silliness. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here for, you know, quiet comedy. I don't even know what that is. ASMR comedy. I'm not here for that. So we're 7 minutes into, the podcast, and I am about to now begin my reaction. All right, so Katt, what I feel you've done is created another avenue or another 15 minutes of fame moment at the beginning of 2024 that didn't need to happen. If you wanted to address some comedians in the industry on a personal level, because this seemed very personal in my opinion, and some other people are going to agree with that, right? You should have went face to face to them and said, hey, you know, I feel like you stole my joke. Now we, you know, no. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100. We know as human beings, there is no such thing as a brand new joke or a brand new line or a brand new punchline. I mean, it's all, you know, regurgitated. It's all reused. It's all resampled. You know, that goes for music. That goes for movie scripts. I've watched so many movies since I have been sick and, you know, the winter coming. And even, you know, back in 2020 with COVID, so many movies with the same plot and the same storyline over and over. And even though there were different actors and different, you know, people, you know, even with music, there are different people singing a song, but, you know, some people are going to enjoy it, some people are not. You may have written a joke, somebody else could, you know, give it better justice, a different, you know, style, and this person might laugh, but this person might not. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of feel like that was a reach. I kind of feel like that was a reach. I mean, if you want to say that, you know, someone like Cedric the Entertainer, you know, or whatever stole your joke, like, go ahead. I just feel like that was a reach because, you know, being honest, I mean, is a joke really, you know, brand new? You may have sat down and you know, written it out on paper or whatever, but to be completely honest, we have heard and read and seen so many things over the years. Somebody else has probably mentioned variations of the same thing. So I can't even imagine. But what I can say is, Katt, that your style is quite different from anybody else's. And what I've learned in my 52 years of living, that nobody can do you like you. there are some imitators. There are some people who will compliment you and, do like an imitation of you, to appreciate you or whatever. But there are not going to be any people on the planet that are identical to you or have your identical personality or characteristics and your style. And that goes for everybody. So please believe me when I say this is not an attack on your character or your talent. We've been following, well, I can say for personal, I have been following Katt Williams for decades, for years. I love him. I love watching his Netflix stuff. I've been watching him since the first movie he was in. I've been watching, I love Katt Williams. I think he is so hilarious and, so smart. And some of his jokes like the one that just popped into my head was the one about the oxtails. He was like, I don't see any, first of all, I don't see oxes in America. Second of all, I don't see any oxes that are running around tailless. So, what exactly are you eating? That sticks out to me. Like, I went to the grocery store and fell out because, oxtails on the shelf, they're so expensive. And I'm sitting here looking at these oxtails going, I don't think I want to try this today. Because Katt said, you know what I mean? So, I can't take it, and I'm not here to take accolades away from anybody. But there are some things that I disagreed with. Katt, like Tyler Perry, he has played many male roles. He's made billions of dollars doing what he does. And I've not seen anybody with the same talent do what he does quite like how he does it. Because he's an individual. He's Tyler Perry. So, I'm not going to take any of his credits away from him. I mean, he has put a lot of people on. I think that was a lie. The guy from the Cosby Show, Alvin, I can't remember his real name, but on the show he was Alvin. He was working in a department store. People saw him. Tyler Perry got wind of it, got, himself or some people out there to the department store to contact him, and boom, he was back on the screen where he belonged, making movies, making shows, getting work, being able to provide for his family and himself. That's the most important part. He was downgraded, Alvin was, for, or the guy who plays the character of Alvin from the Cosby Show was downgraded and, lowballs and everything because he was working in a department store. But if you can't get a job acting, nobody will hire you because you haven't been in the business in so long, because you do have a wife and kids and, God knows what else is going on in the real world. You have to, put food on the table. So I commend Tyler Perry for giving that man another shot, another opportunity, because I don't think age or a time lapse takes away from your talent either. And I used to love watching this guy on the Cosby Show. Same things with the guy from the Dukes of Hazzard. That was awesome. I used to watch the Dukes when I was a kid. Me and my grandma used to sit up and laugh at these guys, and Daisy and everything. These guys were, super funny. And to hear that guy's voice and to see his face and he's a wonderful actor. He's a wonderful voice actor. And I'm loving that he's, working in the public eye again. I don't think that Tyler Perry is doing a disservice. I think he's doing a service. And when I watch his movies and his plays, it makes me think about people that I have in my family. He makes me think about my grandmother and my aunts and my uncles and all of the crazy people that, we see at the cookouts or the family reunions. I mean, or at the funerals or whatever. I mean, it's real life, Cosby said it, back in the day when he did stand up, this is not, these aren't jokes. This is my real life. This is what me and Camille go through. And so, I don't care if people say, oh, he's, putting black people in a bad light. He didn't put anybody on and all that kind of stuff. I completely disagree, because there are people, regardless of race, who identify, and we feel Tyler as he's putting these people in his plays and working with these people whether it's on the silver screen or whether it's on the TV screen, because, you know, you can look at that character and say, I know him. I know her. Or, oh my God, I think that's me. Do I act like that? You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not going to take anything away from him. And I don't think him putting on a dress, Katt Williams, is any less than what you did when you played a very eccentric choir director. And those of us who grew up in the church, we know what it is. So, you know, there's a lot of people who probably missed it, Katt, but I'm one of those people who didn't miss it. I know what it is. I've been to many churches, many workshops. I am a musician and a director, and you know, I'll just say it like this: I'm straight, Katt. I'm strictly dickly. So I know what it is. All right. Cedric the Entertainer, he's amazing. Love his shows. I mean, he's still working, and I was just watching him on Bounce TV the other night. I discovered a lot of shows that I hadn't even seen. These people are still working. Love Cedric the Entertainer's voice. I think he's super funny. He makes me laugh because he's old school, and I'm 52 years old. I'm old school, you know, so that, you know, really makes me laugh. Earthquake. He's working. I just saw his show on a black TV network this week. What do you mean? What are you talking about? He's working. He's still funny. I didn't even know Earthquake could act, and he can, and he's good. And I don't know how many seasons he's been, you know, on the show, but he can do it. He can, you know, he's good. I'm not taking anything away from these people. I love Earthquake. I've loved his ability, his talent for years, and I just think he's so funny. And the thing that I love about Earthquake is that he's funny on social media. If I'm scrolling through on social media and he's on Instagram and he's gonna pick up a news story and actually read it, because he is literate, and he's reading the, you know, news story or the article, whether it's about devastation or whether it's about, you know, another celebrity, or whether it's about, you know, something that happened in somebody's neighborhood. You know, he's, you know, gonna talk about it, or he's gonna make light about it, or he's gonna, you know, read it and, you know, strike up a conversation. And that's what he normally uses his Instagram for. And I think it's, you know, a blessing, because a lot of comedians choose to, I don't know, knock other comedians down, even though the talent is there. And, you know, all of you guys have audiences. We don't all like the same people, and that's totally fine. But I think, you know, grabbing at a 15-minute of fame moment at the beginning of a new year is, woo, Katt, come on now. Also, Katt, Faison, love Faison. When I first saw him, I think it was on BET years and years and years ago. Love him. Ricky, come on, man. Now, if you honestly can sit and say that Ricky Smiley isn't funny, something is wrong with your ears. Something is wrong with your brains. At this point, it's looking a little suspect. At this point, it's looking like jealousy. And I think that in this particular instance, everything happens for a reason. And everything worked out fine. You guys got paid. You made your money. You did what you were supposed to do. You came and, you know, you brought your own style, and you brought your own flavor, and that's what you were supposed to do. And I think when you go to work, whether you're on, you know, the screen, or you're on the radio, or a podcast, or whatever it is, Katt Williams, I feel like you should really be honing in on your accolades and your talent, and praising other people that do what you do, and, you know, giving that good measure to say, hey, I'm a good sport, and yes, I see the talent in you, and no, I don't hold any grudges, but this is how you really feel. Let's just put it out there. Let's put it on the table, Katt. This is how you really feel. This is the real you, right? I disagree with Steve Harvey and DL in the sense that you were on something, maybe. I don't think you were high at all. I think that you came to the party ready and you were loaded with a little malice or deceit or whatever it was, and you came to do some exposing, which is definitely not your job. I completely disagree with that. You weren't put on here to expose anybody. You were put on this earth to entertain. Okay? And I feel like your life would have turned out completely different, and a lot of things that you have regrets about would have been different if you had made different choices. Not DL, not Steve, not Cedric the Entertainer, not Faison, not any of them, not Earthquake. But if Katt Williams, if you had have made different choices in your life, that things would have turned out a lot different for you and your family. And there is a possibility that if your mindset had been a little bit different, as smart as you are, because you are very intelligent, sir, I know for a fact that this process of burning bridges and tearing down friendships and all this kind of stuff wouldn't be happening and wouldn't be taking place. I feel like the responses that we're getting, even from Gary Owens and everybody, I feel like the responses that we're getting from this, ladies and gentlemen, is very professional, very professional. And I have to give a commending shout out to Ricky Smiley, because I know what it's like to lose a child, and for him to admit that no, it wasn't Katt Williams' tears, these were tears for my son. I'm still going through this. You don't understand, like when I lost my child, she was a baby. The bond was so fresh and so new. She was premature. You're talking about a child that you've had in your life all of his life. I mean, this was not like a teenager, like this was a grown man, and this was your baby, and you lost him, and you'll never have that physical connection with this boy again. And so no, it's not over with. And for you to attack somebody who's still going through is a little low to me, Katt. I'm just saying, and I know you weren't thinking about that in the moment because you were having your moment, but I just feel like that was not it. That was not the way to go. I don't feel like that was, you know what I'm saying? Once again, a little suspect, a little shady, a little green-eyed monster-ish. Perhaps. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think, because these are my feelings. These are my opinions. This is what, this is how I feel. With all of this. Now, keep in mind that the majority of us out here don't know any of these people in person. We may have met them, shaken their hands, taken pictures with them at a show or something like that, but we don't have personal relationships with these people. And if by chance this podcast comes across someone who does have personal relationships, or if Katt Williams does happen to hear this podcast, you know what I'm saying? This is how some of the fans out here actually feel. And it's not against the talent. We're still gonna listen to you, Katt. We're still gonna, buy your shows. If we want to come see you, we're still gonna watch you on Netflix or whatever. Like, we're still gonna be there. This is just a moment in time that a lot of us didn't agree with. And there are so many people who will agree with you because they feel like Hollywood is a scam. Hollywood takes a part of your soul. Hollywood, there's a lot of things that you do have to do to get your foot even in the door. We've seen it on television for years now. We've, seen how if you want to get your big break or whatever, or if you want to go, full on, glamazon, biggest entertainer ever, win the Oscars and, all the awards, that you have to, do some back bending or some bending over. And I don't know any of these people personally enough to know that this, is what they're doing or not. I don't know if Hollywood will allow you to get where you're supposed to be on your talent alone. I don't know if the industry has grown up enough. I don't know if the industry has matured enough to get over that type of slander that almost everybody on the planet is aware of. And I use the word slander because, it kind of is slanderous, but at the same time, we've seen, Weinstein and, all of these people really do human beings wrong. So at the same time, is it really slanderous? I mean, without taking away Bill Cosby's accolades, because he is still great in business, but your personal choices may have affected some people that we also don't know in person, but it may have affected some people's lives, and it may have altered them and may have reshaped the way they think about the industry. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Because I don't want to be like, I know for sure that these things happen. This is hearsay we're talking about, and these are opinions that we're saying. And so Katt Williams has said that you have to degrade yourself. And he thinks that putting on a dress and dressing like a woman and being filmed is degrading. From what we got from Club Shay Shay, the Club Shay Shay interview, right? That's what it looks like. That's what it feels like. You were saying, Katt Williams, correct us if we're wrong. But I'm just saying that's what it looks like, and that's what it felt like you were trying to get across to all of the listening ears that, hey, guess what? Some of these people are having to degrade themselves to get a paycheck, to get a little bit of fame, a little bit of fortune. Which is worse, Katt Williams? Degrading someone else with your mouth, or them putting on a dress and getting a paycheck and other people looking at that and saying it's degrading, at the same time laughing at it because it's so funny? I'm just asking a question. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I don't know from a can of paint. I am not a comedian, okay? I have done some work, but not on that level. And let me just say, as a female, I've never dressed as a man, so I can't even, go that route. I'm straight. I can't go that route. I don't know anybody's personal life well enough to say if whatever. One of my friends says, but don't you think it's odd that Tyler Perry only puts in his movies like the best of the best, the creme de la creme, men that are like centerfolds? And I'm like, well, don't you think that we deserve that? And then on the other hand, I don't think all of the men are gorgeous. But that's just my choice. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And on the third hand, if you will, because the third hand being business, I really don't think Tyler Perry is sitting in a room picking people out. I think that he has a crew and a team that's helping him, and he probably has the final say out of the selected few, kind of like you would see on a competition show, if you will, or like on auditions. You have to first pass the first audition in order for the actual writer to even see the choices that made it through. And there are probably hundreds of people, maybe even thousands of people who sit in tapes or videos, or sent in their YouTube videos, thousands of people who have showed up to audition and didn't even get to be seen. But the process, and if you've ever auditioned for anything, if you've ever worked in the industry, even on a lower set, you kind of understand what I'm talking about, like the process. And I'm trying to make it as simple as I can for anybody to understand, even a kid. There's a process that you have to go through. And so when you're looking at the end all be all, I look at Fantasia's career. She's in music. Everybody knows Fantasia. She's in music. She almost didn't make her audition for American Idol. Imagine if she had not. Would she still be the name brand Fantasia today? Would there have been another vehicle to bring her to where she is today? Or would she just be, locally working? Or, would she have been Celia on The Color Purple? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know. You can never tell. That's why it's almost like playing Russian roulette. And a lot of people feel like, hey, I need to stretch it a little bit. I need to bend the rules a little bit. I want this bad enough to where, I will do this or I will do that. And I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but I'm just saying some people do feel like that they have to go through to get what they want. And I feel like that's sad. I feel like I am a person. I know that I can sing my butt off. I know I am a terrific actor. I know that my voice acting is on point, but I'm not willing to sell out, and I'm not willing to sell my soul. I'm from a very small town. People aren't coming to where I live to check for us. I know that. So if I want to, get out and be seen, I have to go to these auditions. I have to go to the, bigger cities and, try to be seen by people. And if it happens, great. If it doesn't, it's still great, because I'm not going, to bend over. I'm not going to bend backwards. I'm not going to do any of this stuff, to get, on the big screen. If my talent doesn't take me there, that means that I wasn't meant to be there. That's how I see it. That is my opinion. And everybody has the opportunity and the right to make their own decisions. And Katt, that's what I think that you were missing in this interview, is that everybody has the right to make their own decisions. And you made a decision at the first of the year to bust 2024 wide open with exposing. And I was waiting. And I'm going to be done with this after this. But this is the crescendo of it all for me. I was waiting for the receipts. I was waiting for the evidence. I was waiting for you to be like the Real Housewives of Atlanta and pull out a big old notebook or a big old folder from behind you and start turning pages. I was waiting for the big finale. I was waiting for the drum roll. Well, hold up. We got receipts. I was waiting for some video clips. I was waiting for some stuff. Now, I will say this. At Cassifins, there were some people that came up on their own platforms, and they, rebutted, or they said what they had to say. And I haven't heard, anything from Katt Williams thus far. I kind of poked around on the internet today. You guys pray for me. I have like 3 more days to be on bed rest, and it is killing me, because if y'all know me, I stay busy and I am restricted. My doctor has me on restriction for a physical pain. And I am on like steroids and all this stuff, and I hate it. So, just a prayer break. Y'all keep me in your prayers, but I got time on my hands. I got time today, Katt. And I've been looking, and I know that you're waiting for, everybody, to respond. Even Ice Cube responded. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to. He wasn't on anybody's side, which is what I appreciate about him. He says what he has to say if it's his business and if it's his place. He wasn't named. He wasn't, drugged, you know what I'm saying, through the mud. But he said what he said, and he's standing on business, and that's that. And so that's what we've always loved about Ice, though. We've always loved that about him. Now, I've listened to Ricky Smiley. And that just sticks out to me. His testimony and his situation just sticks out to me. Excuse me. I'm listening to Gary Owens. How do you get the hiccups on the radio or on a podcast? Ridiculous. I've listened to, Gary Owens. I understand what he's saying. And he even said, I don't think what Katt Williams was, really bad about me. And he said what he had to say, and that was it. We've got responses from Steve Harvey. We've got responses from, DL. I was in defense of some people because, like Faison and Tyler Perry and, Earthquake, yes, I think DL Hughley is funny. I've watched his Netflix shows, and, he's on Netflix, he's on Tubi TV, he's on, Hulu. I've watched his stuff. The man is politically hilarious, in my opinion. He also goes way back in the day. I'm talking about the bologna sandwiches back in the day. He cracks me up. I don't care. If you've never got a spanking, or if you've never rode, in a Cadillac, if you've never been broke down on the side of the road, if you've never had a political thought in your head, if you've never been married before, with kids, if you've never, cared for anybody with special needs, you probably won't get DL Hughley at all. He is very intelligent, and what makes his comedy funny to me is that's kind of like his release button from the radio show, because when I listen to his radio show on YouTube, it's really, we're really thinking, whereas with Steve Harvey, I listen to his radio show and he makes us think too, but he really is there to make us laugh, and he has some funny stuff. And then he's got his sidekicks on there, which are really not sidekicks at all. They stand on their own, to feed each and every one of them, down to the funny phone calls, to the strawberry letters. Like, everybody has their part. They play their part, and they do it, really well. And I think that Steve Harvey did have a hands-on when he was choosing people for his show, and he did an excellent job because they have wonderful chemistry. So I don't just listen to like one episode of somebody's stuff, or watch one movie of somebody's stuff, or what I'm saying, because I have more time on my hands, and like other fans do. I know Katt Williams has stuff to do. He's got kids, he's busy, he's got things coming up. He's not just sitting at home twiddling his thumbs like people think. He's, there's always something happening behind the scenes. And when you see the stuff that comes out on Tubi and Peacock and Bounce and all these other networks, people are still working, okay? And people are going through stuff. People are being berated. People are being violated. Christian Keys was talking about his violation not too long ago, and he did with such finesse as to not accuse an accuser. I'm not going to say the name right now. This is my story and my testimony of what happened and what I went through. It doesn't matter who did it. What matters is that it happened, and here I am to tell you to watch out, because regardless of who it is, the stuff is happening. And I hate that he had to go through what he had to go through. And a lot of people were making insinuations about who they thought, his attacker was or whatever. But let me let you know something. If you pay attention to these people, ladies and gentlemen, and you watch the repertoire of people and the relationships of people, you're not going to be seen with someone who you're accusing, okay, of anything, including molestation. You're not going to sit down and break bread with somebody who's making strong advances at you, okay? So, you have to use your brain about these types of things. If you're really invested and you really want to put your 2 cents in, you really have to, use your head about these things and say, wait a minute, he was just seen with such and such, or, he just had a conversation with such and such. He just played, backgammon or basketball or whatever with such and such. He just was on the plane with such and such. He just did a movie or a show with such and such. Like they were just on a show together, and they were so, they're still friends or whatever, like, or and I know I left some people out, like Tiffany Haddish and all that kind of stuff. I'm not really a Tiffany Haddish fan as per se her comedy, but she's a funny actress. Shout out to Tyler Perry for putting her on and putting her in some of his, I think, was it If Loving You Is Wrong, was it that show? You guys let me know in the comments if you guys know what I'm talking about. But I was like, I've seen that girl before. When I saw her on Tyler Perry, I was like, I've seen that girl before. And then, she ended up, in Hollywood's Eye, and I was like, Tiffany Haddish. And then I went back, and I saw her working with Bill Bellamy and all these kind of people. And I was like, oh, Tiffany had, now I know who she is. And so it made me look for different things, and no, I don't like her stand up, but yes, I like her acting. I watch her act on several different occasions, but I just, you have to be some sort of, super funny to be a female comedian anyway. And so, but she does have a big audience and people love her. You cannot take her accolades away. She is talented. I just prefer her acting over her comedic style, on stage doing stand-up, period. That's all it is. I don't know her personally either, so as far as all the people that Katt Williams has named, and as far as all the people that he says he's gonna name, because Katt Williams believes in his heart and in his head that he was here to expose. That's what he says. He believes that. So I can only say there's more to come, and there's going to be more reactions. I just hope, I can't even say that. Let's just keep it real. There's going to be some fires that are going to need to be put out if he keeps this up. And the year just got started, ladies and gentlemen. So I am hoping that this ends well. And I would like to see Katt Williams say some positive things about these people. Is what personally, I'm a forgiving person. I like to see, harmony within my people. But he's not looking at this as such. I feel like, again, this is personal. These are people in the industry that he seems to have personal issues with or whatever. And I when you expose people, I think really what Katt is trying to do is expose the industry. I don't think I think that he is exposing or has exposed quote unquote people to expose what goes on in the industry, right? I don't think that this is one of those things where you have to expose people. You have to call anybody's name or whatever to let people know what's going on in the industry. But I understand that you want to use examples, right? You want to use examples, so you've got, everybody, Jamie Foxx with a dress on and Tyler Perry with a dress on and, whoever. I mean, Jesus. Eddie Murphy has played so many roles. He'll put a fat suit on. And I mean, Jesus, look at Norbit. I mean, come on. That was one of the funniest. The Klumps, come on. These are some of the funniest movies ever. That man is an absolute genius when it comes to recreating a character. And Tyler Perry, I feel like, is right up there with him when it comes to stage play, character creating, if you will. I was talking to one of my friends yesterday about the movie Alex that he was in, and was it Alex Cross or was it just Alex? I can't think of the name of the movie, but wow, it gave me a completely different look and insight. When Tyler Perry changes gears, the facial expressions, the body movements, it's almost like he turns into a different person. He's not, it's like each character may have a whole nother personality, almost like he created this virtual person for this particular time. And a lot of people are not able to do that without, putting on a mustache or changing a wig. And I've seen Tyler Perry play several different roles, from, married man to someone who wants to date to someone who is very agitated, very hurt because, somebody took his loved one away, to, playing Medea. I've seen him play Uncle Joe. I've seen him play a lawyer. I've seen him play a lot of different, and these people are completely different. Kind of like, has anybody ever seen Not Carlton Banks? Have y'all seen that guy? That kid is a scream. He's so talented, and every one of his characters are completely different. I cannot wait for Tyler Perry to discover him. Probably already has something in the works for all I know. But Tyler Perry has worked with so many people from YouTube, including the young lady that plays Charlene. She's now a comedian. She has a comedian career now thanks to Tyler Perry. Talking about Tyler Perry doesn't put people on. Come on, Charlene is gonna be in Atlanta. She's gonna be in Birmingham. She's gonna be all over. Y'all better go see Charlene. Y'all better get y'all tickets. If y'all didn't see Charlene, during Christmas, y'all better go get y'all tickets and see Charlene. She's called the Christie Show on the internet, on YouTube and TikTok and stuff. So if y'all want to see the Christie Show, y'all want to see Charlene, look for the Christie Show. Christie with the IE. And that girl is funny. She's hilarious. And I remember when Tyler Perry chose her to be in one of the movies, and she was so elated. I mean, she was so happy. It was just nothing but tears of joy. The same thing with the guy, I cannot think of his name, but the guy with the blue hair that was in the play, he was hilarious. And it was funny because he had such a chemistry with the audience. The guy with the blue hair, and Medea kept saying, "I'm telling you, you look like a dude." And here, this is Tyler Perry sitting in a Medea costume telling another guy that has on a blue wig that's supposed to be a girl, "I'm telling you, you look like a dude." You can't beat it. You can't make this stuff up. So I've seen some funny stuff over the years, and yes, I am very detailed, and yes, I pay close attention. I may not remember your name, but I know your face, and if I watch you long enough, like I have Katt Williams and all the other people on this roster reaction, I promise you, your name will be remembered, your face will be remembered. And I just, for the people who think that Katt Williams spoke out of fear, I really don't think he did. I think I hate to use the word vengeance, but I just feel like Katt Williams has something to prove. Once again, I don't think that he was put on this earth to expose anybody. I think he was put on this earth to entertain, and possibly even enlighten, because again, he's a very intelligent man. He's smart, but the shade is real. That's all I can say. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here because I said I was going to be done like 15 minutes ago, and we're 48 minutes into this podcast, and I got to go. But I want to thank you guys so much for listening to my reaction and my opinion about the Katt Williams situation. We're going to be keeping a close eye on this. We're going to be talking about this a little bit more. So thank you guys, for hanging in there with me. Like I said, we're back bigger and better. I'm only going to be doing this podcast once a week because I do have other podcasts that I need to get out there with my ministry and everything else. And so I've got a lot on my plate for 2024. So I got to get out of this bed and really get to work. So, pray for these, last 3 days. Today is day 2. It's supposed to be 5 days. So pray for the, next 3 days that I can make it. 'Cause bed rest my foot. I had to get up. And so I did say that I was going to tag this podcast in YouTube and make a playlist because some other podcaster friends of mine I'm going to be doing some reactions as well, so you'll get to hear what other people have to say as well, and not just me. Mosey on over to 20 Event on Demand over on YouTube. You can see the playlist tonight. I'm going to start the playlist up tonight. If you are in my private chat group, I'm going to post the videos and as well as the playlist in there as well. So but you can go to my link tree. Everything is over there on my YouTube or whatever, and you can, you know, check that out. 20 Event on Demand. You know who I am. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you guys so much. I love you to life, love you to pieces, and I will talk to you next week. Ciao.